I found my place at Chowan University.
I found my place.
Affordable, practical,
small class sizes,
abundant resources, individual attention,
personalized education,
caring faculty.
A university just for you, with faith in your future.
With faith in your future.
Find your place at Chowan University.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Student Life Live session. My name is Eure, and I am an admissions counselor here at Chowan University, and I'm also the campus visit coordinator. So if you guys are interested in coming to Chowan, interested in taking a tour, you guys would see my beautiful face. And I am joined with some of my lovely colleagues. We have Kelsey, Mary, Yolanda, and Brad, and I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves and tell you what their titles are and what exactly they do.
I'll go first. My name is Kelsey Colvin. I'm the Jenkins Center coordinator here on campus. I work in our Jenkins Center, which has our weight room and do some programming that I'll get into a little bit later, but that's my position.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Wiles. I'm minister to the university and associate dean of students. I am housed in the student center, the Hawk's Nest, and I oversee campus ministry and then supervise the student life team.
Good afternoon. I'm Yolanda Majette. I am the university counselor. I am licensed in both mental health and substance abuse with North Carolina.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Bradley Cash. I currently serve as the Director of Student Life here at Chowan University. My office is located also in the Hawk's Nest, and I'm also an alum of Chowan, class of 2012.
Nice to finally have you guys join me for our live session. I know I've seen you guys do a couple of live sessions before, and so I look forward to talking with you guys and asking you some questions, and hopefully we'll get some good questions in from all of our viewers that are watching now. If you're not watching, go ahead and jump on so that way you can kind of get the ins and outs of what our student life is like. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions. And Ms. Kelsey, we're going to start with you about the Jenkins Center. So I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask you, and then you can kind of give us a rundown of your area and your territory. So the first question is, what is in the Jenkins Center?
So in the Jenkins Center, we have a few different things. We have a weight room that has resistance equipment, cardio equipment, free weights that we have our students that are usable by students, staff, and faculty. We also have an aerobics room that is used for smaller classes, or some of our groups on campus use it as a practice space. And then we also have a basketball court, a full-size basketball court, as well as rentable equipment that you can use in the weight room, basketball court, or in the aerobics room.
Now, I know when I was a student here, I took social dance, and that's where we did all of our dancing at was the Jenkins Center. So I was got very acquainted with that, and I really enjoyed it. So the next question, I know you had mentioned a little bit, but who can use the Jenkins Center?
So it's free for all of our students, staff, and faculty to use. It's usable for spouse and dependents of faculty and staff. And there are a few community members that do pay to utilize the facility, but it's mostly used by students. And like I said, it's completely free for all students on campus. Awesome. And computers.
What other opportunities are offered through the Jenkins Center?
So the big one that we have that's the most popular is intramurals. So we offer indoor soccer, flag football, both men, women's, and co-ed basketball. We also do some tournaments within the gym, basketball tournaments, dodgeball tournaments. We do a lot of challenges online and in the gym. And then we're looking to add on personal training and small group exercise classes in the spring. I'm getting certified in that, so we'll be able to offer that as well.
That's actually going to be awesome, because I know, of course, some of our students probably would be interested in that, as well as, our staff members and everything. And then they don't have to even, go outside to look at other gyms to do that. They can do that right here at home.
Exactly.
So what steps has the Jenkins Center taken during the pandemic to help keep students safe?
So as we all know, it's kind of unprecedented times right now, but we are operating as per the governor's executive order. So we're operating at a 30% capacity with only the weight room open currently. So we do have the aerobics room and the basketball court closed because we didn't find a safe way for our students to use those areas while maintaining social distance. And then we're using a sign-up system so that students are signing up for a 45-minute session between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then after those 45-minute sessions, we're disinfecting the entire gym, all doorknobs, any touch points that there were within the weight room, as well as in the bathrooms that might have been used, so that the new group that's coming in for the next 45-minute session has a completely clean slate to utilize.
Now, I know, of course, I'm coming from a background at a wellness center. And is there anything that is off limits as far as equipment is concerned during the pandemic, or is everything pretty much open and then you just sanitize after?
So pretty much everything in the weight room is open. We haven't, like I said, opened the basketball gym just because we can't really have rentals of basketballs out and have anybody playing basketball with it being socially distanced, as you can imagine. And I went through and made sure that all of our equipment, with us being at 30% capacity, people actually can maintain a 6 foot space in between them. And our equipment is actually spaced out relatively right around the 6 foot mark as well. And students are encouraged to wear their mask into the facility, wear it out of the facility. They can take it off to work out. But they're also encouraged to clean up after themselves. So it's almost like a double disinfecting after each 45-minute session.
Well, sounds like you got everything covered over there at the Jenkins Center. And of course, working out is one thing that will help, students, especially their mental state, because of course, mental health is taking a big hit right now with the pandemic. So of course, working out is a outlet for a lot of students. So being able to offer that to the students, yes, at a at a smaller rate and time frame, but at least we're offering it. And I think that's awesome for us to offer our students. So kudos to you for doing all of the sanitizing and making sure everything is safe for our students. We definitely appreciate that. Now I will ask you this, and I'm going to ask all of you guys this. So Kelsey, you're kind of going to be in the hot seat while everybody else has a chance to think about it. Other than the Jenkins Center, where is your favorite spot on campus to go?
My favorite spot on campus to go would probably be my second home, which is the Hawk's Nest. I work very closely with my coworkers that you see on screen, but I think the Hawk's Nest because of the atmosphere of, just everybody not right this second, but everybody gathering together, being able to sit and watch a movie or a TV show or play a game of cards, and just kind of having that family feel that I know that we take pride in here at Chowan. It really exudes in the Hawk's Nest. So I would say that's my second favorite place.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. Miss Yolanda, we're going to come to you next. And you are our counselor. And so we're going to just ask you a few questions. And that way you can give the students and some of our prospect students information on what we actually offer here at Chowan. So first question is, who can participate in the counseling sessions? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, but any student can participate in counseling. Any current student. I also see alum. So anyone can come in, make an appointment, and be seen.
Awesome. So how much does it cost to participate in counseling sessions?
Counseling sessions for our current students and our alum is actually free. That's part of your, tuition. I'm there. I'm employed by the university, so you are able to come see a licensed counselor free of charge in the Hawk's Nest.
And that's amazing, especially again during the pandemic. Crazy times here lately, and of course, like I said, mental health has taken a real big hit among everybody. So that's awesome service to provide, especially free of cost. Mm-hmm. How long does a session usually last?
A session is usually 50 minutes long, just like most classes, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes, because I don't want to, extend into a class. So it's usually about 50 minutes long, but it just depends. Sometimes if I've seen a student a couple times, sometimes it may be where they're just coming in to do a check-in where, we talked about some things, we made a plan, and they're coming back in just to tell me how that plan has gone, or if what has worked and what has not worked. So it may be you come back in and we talk that whole 50 minutes, or it may come back in and you say, oh, Miss Yolanda, everything's been great. I did A, B, C, and D, and this is how it worked. And, everything is good now. And, we're not going to make up any problems. So if you're good and everything has went well, then it may be 20 minutes, it may be 30 minutes, but you do have that 50-minute time frame that is set aside just for you if you need to talk.
Well, that's awesome. How many sessions will be provided?
Okay. That also depends on the situation, and I go by individual basis. Usually is about 3 to 4 sessions, depending on what's going on with the student. Now that can be extended, it can be longer. Sometimes they may need 5 or they may need 6, so it can be extended or it could be shorter. Sometimes students just come in, something has happened, they're having an immediate problem, and they just need to talk and process it through with someone. So sometimes they're just coming in for that one time. This happened, I'm upset, I don't know how to deal with it, let's talk it through. So sometimes that happens, and it may be just that one session, and then it may be, oh my goodness, I just want to come back and talk about and tell you what happened. So it just depends on the student and the situation.
Okay, now I don't know what feedback is coming through, so if a student is having a problem like right then and there, and yet they have not scheduled an appointment and you are free, are you still allowed to see, are they still able to just walk in if you are free?
Yes, if I'm free, you are able to walk in, especially if you're having an issue. But if you are, sometimes they just want to, I always say the best way to contact me, as of right now with the pandemic, I'm not on campus and I'm doing virtual appointments. But when I'm in my office, I always say the best way to contact me is through email, because you never know when I'm free. You don't want to walk over to the Hawk's Nest and I'm not free. You don't know how long I'm going to be. So if you email me, I usually can answer you back that same day or by the next morning. But if I have someone in my office, if you call or you come by, I'm not going to stop my session with that student, to talk to someone else and tell them, hold on for a minute while I deal with this. So it's always the best thing to email me and schedule an appointment. So if they come in and they walk in and it's something immediate that needs to be handled, of course, I'll sit and I'll talk if I can. But if it's something that, we can schedule an appointment, then they walk in sometimes and just schedule an appointment.
Gotcha. Now, how do I schedule an appointment? So for the students who need to, do they just email you to schedule an appointment? I heard you say if you were free and they needed to walk in, they can, but could they walk in and schedule an appointment then, or how would they go about scheduling appointments?
If I'm free, yes, they can come in and schedule an appointment. They can also talk to Christy Hull, who is in Penny Hall, and Mary Wiles, Minister to the University and Dean of Students, who you just met, also has access to my calendar and can schedule appointments for me.
Perfect. Now, will the sessions be confidential?
So a tricky question. Yes, your sessions will be confidential unless you come to me and you tell me you are a danger to yourself or someone else. If you tell me you're having thoughts of self-harm or thoughts of hurting someone else, I am legally responsible to get you some help at that immediate moment. I'm legally responsible to share that information with someone else. But other than that, as long as you're not telling me those two things, the things we talk about are confidential unless you give me written permission that I can share with other people.
So say if a student comes in and talks to her admissions counselor or his admissions counselor, and kind of tells them some few things that our admissions counselors get concerned about. Are we able to go to you and let you know what the student says, and then you can meet with the student? How would that work?
Yes. At any time, anyone on campus can contact me and let me know, hey, I met with this person and, they said some things that I really think they, maybe need to talk to someone. So anyone on campus can send me a referral at any time. And I always let the student know that as long as you're not telling me you're a threat to yourself or anyone else, it doesn't matter who sent that referral, then that does not mean that I share that information with that person. So if you went to, I don't like you just said, the admissions counselor, and admissions counselor comes to me and say, hey, Yolanda, I talked to Johnny and he's having a couple of issues and want to talk. I think he needs to talk to someone. Just because that admissions counselor came and told me about Johnny, just letting Johnny know, if you come and talk to me, that doesn't mean I'm going to share that information with that admissions counselor. It's still confidential as long as you don't tell me anything that's concern of harm to self or anyone else. Mm-hmm.
That's definitely good for us to know here, as well as for, the students to know that confidentiality is a very big part of our mission here to serve them better. So that's definitely awesome. Now, what if someone needs medication? What happens then?
I have several different doctor's offices in the area. The one that's closest to us is Murfreesboro Primary, and they have a doctor and a licensed clinical social worker there. So if there is that you need more intense services than what I can provide, then I do have referral resources in our area that I can refer you to.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like you have our students' best interest at heart, and that you're going to be working hard to get them where they need to be, so that way they can be successful individuals. And I thank you so much for your service to Chowan, because not only does that, help our students, but it also helps, our staff know that, our students are number one in everybody's mind. So thank you for that. Now, Miss Mary, we're going to come to you. You are no stranger to me because you were here when I was here. I was class of 2009. So yay. But we're going to ask you some questions about campus ministries. Oh, hold on. First of all, Yolanda, where is your favorite place on campus other than your office?
My favorite place is Lake Van, one of the little waterfalls. I am a water person. I love water. So if I'm having a rough day on campus, that's the closest water I can get to. So I'll go out and take a walk and go to Lake Van and sit there for a little bit and then come on back to my office and finish my day.
Perfect. Now, have you ever gone fishing in Lake Van?
No, I have not.
Figured I'd ask because I know some of the students really like knowing that they can possibly go fishing out there. They can possibly catch something really nice out there. I think somebody's actually seen a student catch a really nice fish out there. So if any of you are interested, I would get a fishing pole and go check it out for yourselves.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know that.
All right, Miss Mary. So what does a typical week look like in campus ministries?
Typically, we have a ministry every night of the week. So we have diverse, different things because we know that our student body is diverse. So we want to have as many things that will attract folks to plug in on their faith journey. So we have some national programs. Fellowship of Christian Athletes and International Justice Mission are national programs that we have chapters on campus. But then we have some things that have been started organically by Chowan students and have continued. We have a very active gospel choir, a praise and worship team, a mime ministry, a praise dance ministry. We have community Bible study that anybody's interested in. And then we have small group Bible studies if you want to just do it with the folks on your hall, or our topical study. Sometimes we do book studies. And then we have a community worship service, so we call campus worship, that's student led. And then we also have ministry chaplains that are in most of the residence halls that are upper class students that have been trained by us, and they're kind of on the front line. So they're living with the student body. So they're there if somebody passes away at 2 o'clock in the morning from your family and you just really need to talk to somebody, or they're there if you are having a really hard day and you just want to stop by and have prayer. So that's a continual thing. But our weekly is that we have something every night of the week.
So talk a little bit about mission opportunities with Chowan.
We have been so fortunate that the university supports us in doing service locally, nationally, and internationally. Our last trip was to Hawaii, and it's the paradise of the United States, but on every backside of a paradise is poverty. So our team worked with a camp, and they also worked with some homeless folks. We have an ongoing partnership with a homeless ministry in Portland, Maine, and we've even gone up there right after exams in December and had a great experience, even though it was very cold, especially feeding the homeless folks there. And then we also have a long-term relationship with several ministries in South Africa. We have been going to Africa every other year. It's just such a big trip, a long trip, and we have to do that. We can't do that during spring break. We don't have enough time. So we usually do that in May. And that the closest partnership right now we have is with Door of Hope, and they serve abandoned babies. So we do get to spend some time with the actual babies that have been thrown away, but we also have been helping them to build. They are needing more space. So we're actually the first group ever to go and help make bricks for them in this new building effort. And then we've been able to go back and continue in that.
Oh, wow. Yes, my youngest sister had the opportunity to go on a mission trip with you guys to St. Louis. And let me tell you, when she got back, that is all she talked about. And to this day, she still talks about that and still talks about, the people that she met there, how she helped with building stuff and doing renovations. And that was literally one of her top memories from Chowan, was being a part of the campus ministries and going on that mission trip and really being able to serve. So that's awesome. I never got the opportunity to do that, but I definitely, with all of my virtual visits, I make sure to let them know that these are opportunities for you to go out and be helping hands, and really reach out not only to the people in your community, but to the people that necessarily you wouldn't meet otherwise. So definitely great opportunities there. And I want everybody to take full advantage of those opportunities. And we definitely appreciate, our campus ministries for offering those opportunities. So what are some unique things about Chowan Campus Ministry, or that Chowan Campus Ministry offers, other than, your mission trips?
I think that there's some different philosophies at Chowan for campus ministry than some other schools. We are tasked with pastoring the university. So that means that we are here for pastoral needs for students, faculty, and staff. So that means that sometimes I offer prayer for a cafeteria worker, or I've done funerals for a trustee's parent. We are very relational, and we make a lot of intentional partnerships in our community. We want to be being the light of Christ on campus, but this campus is very integral to this community. So we want to be able to be the light in the community. It's not uncommon for me to get called on a Saturday night that a local pastor is sick or has had a death, and they need me to fill the pulpit the next morning, because it's a very small area and there's not a lot of resources for that. So we want to be seen as a resource, but we don't want to just be programs. We want to be Christ-centered and then relational. So we want to be building a community, and community is when you have common unity. So it takes a lot of intentionality to find out what we have in common. And then it does take a lot of work to be unified. So that's what I think we really are different, that we're not just expecting kind of the church kids to come to our programs. We're trying to serve every student, no matter where they are on their faith journey, or if faith is not important, we still serve every student. And we want to do that with the integrity of Christ.
And that leads right into my next question, which was, do you require students to go to church?
We do not. We are a faith-based school. We were started by some very dedicated Christians, and that is important in the framework of our university, but it is not a requirement for students to be a Christian. We have students of many different faiths here, and they help make a really beautiful tapestry. We have people from very different denominations, and that's exciting. We don't want everyone to be cookie cutters. We want everyone to be authentically living their faith journey. And like I said, we are here to serve everyone. So if you have a crisis, but faith is not important, I am still going to stand with you in that crisis. And that's just out of the university's view of how we love all of God's children. And there's not a if, and, or but. We love all of God's children, and we are here to serve all of God's children.
Absolutely. And I know that you guys definitely do a lot of partnerships with local churches. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. For example, I have goodie bags in my office right now for our international students. One of our local congregations, Roberts Chapel, wanted to do something special for them because they knew a lot of them would be having to travel as they end into the semester, wanted just to give them a little extra. So that's exciting. We've had churches, I know another local church one time invited the whole football team over for a cookout, and then they had a special service for them. We have all kinds of requests, like a church might have a lock-in or a special youth day, and they would like college students to come and lead in that or do Bible studies. We get a lot of invitations for our gospel choir to lead worship locally. And we've gone as far as Washington, D.C. with them. Maybe we'll get an invitation further one day. But we get a lot of invitations of wanting our students to, connect. So we're always trying to find ways to do that. And then we have a lot of support. When we go on the mission trips, they're expensive, especially when we fly across the world. But a lot of our local congregations will help us with fundraising, or they'll adopt a student to pay their way. So we're really fortunate in this community to have some really good, strong partnerships. And we're also eager when they have a need to try to help meet that need. One of the fun things the first day of school when the freshman class moves in is all of our local churches come to offer a free lunch for the freshmen and their families. And it's just overwhelming to see how excited the local community is to welcome this new class. And it's a great service for the family, so you don't have to stop moving in and unpacking to go find lunch. It's right here on campus, and it's free, and it's kind of a family reunion atmosphere.
Absolutely, because I know that, they did it when I moved into Chowan, and I'm blessed that my church that I attend is also a really big supporter of Chowan, and so they come out here, and they're one of the churches, helping in any way they can, whether it's helping, just the parents unload stuff from their car, where it's just, passing out water, doing snacks, making sure everybody's okay, making sure, they have all that they need. So yeah, definitely a big blessing to have that. And Pamela Water just commented, we are so blessed to have our campus ministry team at CU. They're the best. And I have to absolutely agree. You guys are the best. And you take the love of God above and beyond, and you show it to everybody. And that is such a blessing to everybody who comes through there, or just everybody who is blessed to know campus ministry. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Mary. And I do have one other question. It says, are Chowan students involved in leadership positions in area churches and campus ministry activities?
Yes, of course. All of our ministries are student-led. We feel like this is a learning ground, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom. So, of course, campus ministry is like a big safety net, but we want the students as the leaders. So there's a student leading the gospel choir. Like I said, there's students that are leading as ministry chaplains. And then as we have the gifts and abilities and the need, many local churches will ask for especially a youth minister, or sometimes they want an accompanist or a minister of music. Every now and then they might want to have a student pastor, but we do get a lot of requests for them to have a student fill the pulpit for one Sunday. And we're always excited to match that and, just make a good connection there. And yeah, so we're eager to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way, I know how I learned better was to actually go and do. And I think that's the best way for our students, to, really get into it and get excited about it, is really put them in the position and have them, go ahead and be the leaders that they're going to be, because we know that our students are going to be leaders, whether it's starting right now to whether it's when they graduate. So we know that our students are going to be leaders and they're going to be successful. And so it's exciting to, know that the local community wants to work with our students and wants them to come in and just be a part of their community. And I think that makes Chowan right there feel as more of a family, is when you get the community involved. And so definitely works in our advantage. So Miss Mary, you're in the hot seat now. Where would be your favorite spot on campus?
I actually have two, if I'm allowed to have two.
Yes.
We have a brand new, beautiful outdoor chapel called the Cross of Christ Chapel, and it's on the shores of Lake Van, right catty corner from a fountain. It is a place that I go and I can be quiet. Sometimes I have students want to meet me there to have a pastoral visit. We've had a lot of services there, especially it's been really great during the pandemic because we can social distance and be outside. But it is just a very soothing place. And then ever since I interviewed here, one of my favorite places is the threshold of the doorway in the Columns building, because it's the original threshold. So I am just in awe of thinking about how many students have walked over that and through that doorway, and how many lives were changed because of education and faith. I'm just in awe, and especially it began as a women's school when girls weren't given all the same opportunities. That there's a saying in Africa that if you educate a boy, you have an educated man. If you educate a girl, you have an educated family. And I just think of how many families have been changed because someone was able to come here and have an education. So those are my two favorite places.
And I will say that the outdoor chapel is beautiful, especially at night when the lights are out there shining, and especially right now because the bridge is all lit up with the Christmas lights too, and the wreath, and it just accentuates, the chapel out there, and it's beautiful. So if you have not been out there and seen it, definitely take time to go look at that. We've also taken our tours by that, and of course we've had a lot of people, saying that's beautiful. They really like it. So that's a big plus for us. And we have Vaughn Bird. He said, I serve as the organist at, I'm guessing it's the First Baptist Church of Muffinsburg. and he said it was his best year. So yes, thank you for that. We love hearing, that Chowan is the best part of you so far. So definitely. And thank you, Miss Mary, for all of your input on that.
One other thing.
You sure can.
Can I, we've had so many challenges in pandemic land, and we haven't been able to do our traditional mission trips because we can't take students. It's too risky. So we have loved serving others that we've had to send away. So we've tie-dyed socks where you make one pair for yourself and you tie-dye another pair, and we sent to the Christ House, which is a hospital for homeless men in Washington, D.C. We also sent it to children in East St. Louis at the Christian Activity Center. And then we've made goodie bags for our local elderly, and the football team passed those out. So in the midst of all of this craziness, it's been fun to see how people have been creative and really energized to still stay connected and to still try to serve and make a difference. So I just applaud the students and how they've been flexible and willing to adapt this semester. And we are all praying for the day when we will be back to whatever normal is, but a lot more connectedness, and then also with the ability to travel again. So, but thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Kudos to our students who have been, have gone above and beyond to adapt to this crazy world that we're living in right now with the pandemic and not being able to go and do things. And, especially like going to class, how we take that, take that with such a grain of salt that, we miss a class here and there, and now students can't even go to class because everything's going to be done virtually. So, that's something that I'm sure our students miss. I'm sure they can't wait to get back to. But yes, they've done an amazing job being able to adapt and overcome, the obstacles that the world has thrown at us. But I truly believe that one day, and hopefully soon, we will get back to what our normal is. And hopefully that's as normal as we were before all this started. So definitely praying for that as well. All right, Mr. Cash, where's your hat at? You come in a while ago with your hat on, and it was really nice, and now I'm missing it.
It was exclusive for the festive nature of the event at the time. Since that event has concluded, we're back to normal, Brad.
That's all right, because we'll take normal Brad any day of the week as well. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about some student activities. So I'll put you in the hot seat now and going to ask you some questions about it. So the first question is, how are activities being modified during the pandemic to keep students safe?
That is a really good question, and that's kind of a complex question. But you said one word in your question that really stuck out to me, and that's safety. Obviously we want our students to have a lot of activities. We want them to, get involved in everything like that. But safety is first and foremost. So we've had to get creative, like Mary kind of alluded to. So there's not a whole bunch of indoor facilities that we can utilize for large scale programming. So we have tried to utilize outside more. If there are programs that we are able to facilitate outside, and obviously socially distant, we do that. We've also some of the space that we can use, for example, Turner Auditorium, which is probably the largest indoor space that we are able to use. And that space has already been marked off. There's been designated seats that if you sit in this seat, then you're socially distant from the person that's sitting in the seat next to you. But we've had to obviously get creative in the sense that there's some programs that we like, normal programs that we would do every year. And I'll just throw out one example. Our homecoming week step show and after party/dance. Obviously it's virtually impossible to facilitate an event of that magnitude, and still abide by social distance. So we have gotten creative. We've adopted, more virtual programming and activities. Now, obviously, we know that students, somewhat get a little burnt out with the virtual piece. So we do try to utilize some some in-person programs as well. Obviously, making sure that we're limiting touch points, make sure that we're, encouraging hand sanitizing and mask wearing, as well as social distancing. So like I said, it's kind of a complex answer. So I kind of beat around the bush a little bit, but we've had to limit some of the programs that we've done in the past. And then we've also had to get creative and try to utilize new spaces on campus and new methods of facilitating old programs.
Now, I will go ahead and put this out there. Miss Mary Jo is watching on Facebook, and she said, watching all the videos make me feel very blessed to be sending my daughter there fall of 2021. I pray too that there's some normalcy by the end, but if not, I know this university has their students in their hearts. It takes the worries off of my shoulders. Thank you. So we definitely are doing something right by our parents and by our incoming students. So kudos to all of you guys that are joining me here. And then, of course, ones that, still play a big part in keeping our campus safe. So that is amazing to hear. And thank you, Ms. Mary Jo, for commenting on that. Definitely like hearing that for sure, that you don't have to worry so much about, when you send your daughter here, that we will take the best care of her as we possibly can. So Brad, what kind of activities do students get to participate in?
So there are a wide range of activities that transpire on campus. For student life, led or facilitated programs, activities, pretty much any student on campus. We don't, if you're a current active student on campus, you're allowed to participate. And even, if you're a commuter, commuters are also welcome to participate as long as you're a current active student. So like I said, we have adopted the virtual piece a little bit, but we don't try to put all of our eggs into the virtual basket in a sense. But we have like a monthly bingo where, students get opportunities to win money. We're big on giving students opportunities to win money. We have all types of contests, challenges, different things like that. We have movie nights. We have trivia. We've done that a variety of ways. We've set up a table outside of the cafeteria, and we've stopped people on the way and had them fill out forms. We've done virtual trivia. Before the pandemic, we had some in-person trivia events. Let me see. We've at the beginning of the school year, we actually had an outdoor movie night. So we had a company that came and they brought an inflatable screen, and we had an outdoor movie night, and that was a nice turnout. We've had novelty events. So we had a company come, and our students got to make their own pop sockets. We've had some virtual contests. So we've every week since the NFL season has been going on, and since school started, we've had a NFL weekly pick'em. So literally, it takes 2-3 minutes to fill out the Google form, and but with that, you get the opportunity to win some money. We've had some canvas painting, different type of craft events. Like last week, we had a Christmas ornament painting event / contest, and due to social distancing and things like that, where we normally would have we have tables set up in the Hawk's Nest. What we actually did, Kelsey and I actually put together some paint kits. So we had all the materials in there, and we actually delivered them to the students that signed up. So those are just to name a few. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something, because we do attempt to do a lot of programming and a lot of variety of programming, but that's what I would say to that answer.
Yeah, I definitely like getting your emails with all the stuff that's going on campus that the students are able to participate in. I especially like seeing the results of the pumpkin painting contest. That was pretty awesome because I'm an avid pumpkin painter when the time comes. Of course, you know, my nephew, he would always bring me his little pumpkin and say, "Hey, Anna, can you paint something for me?" And so one year it was a Minion, and the next it was Sully from Monsters Inc. So definitely getting involved with that. Definitely love seeing all the creativity from the students, especially. But I do have a question for you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is your favorite football team? NFL.
This is really tough to admit right now, but I'm not a bandwagon. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. So that's
I'm gonna have to mute you. Yeah, okay, we're done. We're over with. I'm just kidding.
That's tough to answer, but I'm a diehard Cowboys fan.
Well, I have to say mine, I don't think mine's any better. I'm a Broncos fan, so don't think we're doing too hot this season. Actually, I don't think we did too hot last season either, but
slightly better than the Cowboys still. So.
Like you say, you know, can't be a bandwagon fan. You got to, you know, tried and true, got to stick with your team in good times and bad times. So definitely feel you on that one. So are there opportunities for students to get involved in the community under normal circumstances and also during the pandemic?
Absolutely. Well, so we encourage now, obviously since the pandemic, we've really tried to limit, you know, in a sense, students going off campus or you know, outside people coming on campus, just due to, you know, potential exposure. But we definitely encourage, you know, student life does, obviously campus ministry. But one of the things that kind of falls under my area is fraternity and sorority life. So Greek life is big. And, you know, we, regardless of whether, you know, you're Greek or whether you're not, or you're, you know, just a student, we encourage community involvement, and there's a lot of opportunities that we do. You know, campus ministry does a lot. Typically, the first week of school, there's a big community event where we do some type of. We invite pretty much the whole campus, students, faculty, staff. We get a lot of sports teams to come participate. But we do some type of service for the community. So like we've done backpack meals, we've done Stop Hunger Now, but during a traditional semester, we also have what we call Greek Service Week, where every day we encourage our fraternities and sororities to engage in community service. Some of it is actually on campus, some of it is off campus. But we do there are opportunities for students to get involved in the community. And like there's other clubs like Rotaract is big, SAC is big as far as community involvement and community service as well. Just to name a couple of clubs and organizations.
Awesome. Yes. Community service is a big part of Chowan as well. You know, when I was here, there was definitely opportunities for that. So definitely awesome to see that that's still a possibility, especially again with the pandemic and everything going on. If there isn't a club for a certain thing, can students start a new one? And what is the process like if they can?
Absolutely. It actually happens semi-regularly. You know, we do have a you know, wide range of clubs and organizations of, you know, that address different interests. But we obviously know that, you know, students come in with new ideas, and if it's something that they want to do and it's, you know, obviously appropriate and, you know, realistic, like we obviously give them the opportunity. And there's actually a form that a student would fill out. It's called a club organization recognition form. They can pick them up from my office. And basically what they do is like whatever the name of the organization or club they want to start, like what's the purpose of it? So what kind of things will you be doing? What's the kind of the mission of it? Who's the on-campus advisor? Who are the members, you know, the officers of the club and different things like that. And what they would do is fill out that form. They would bring it to me. I would look over it. As long as everything, like I said, you know, looks okay, then I will pass that on to SGA. And then typically what happens is SGA would vote on it in one of their monthly meetings. And then that's kind of how the process would start.
Well, it's definitely good to know, especially for students who come in and have those ideas, and to actually be able to put those ideas and make them into something sustainable. So that's awesome that they can obviously do that. And what kind of opportunities do you provide for students to give their feedback? So say, if a program or something they liked, or if they wanted to, give you some feedback on how it could have been better, what ways could they do that?
So we have a couple of different ways. We have an official way and then an unofficial way. Unofficially, and this probably obviously happens probably a little bit more than officially, but we have open door policies. Students are welcome to, as long as, we're not in any meetings, or, we don't have other students in our office at the time. Students are more than welcome and encouraged to stop by our office, whether that's just to say hi, whether that's they have some specific they want to talk about. But I've gotten a lot of feedback that way. I've had students come by and say, "Hey, Mr. Cash, we've had this program, but what about this?" Or, I think that, we should do more events on the weekends, or we should do this, or we should do that. And, like I said, as long as it's realistic, I don't have a problem with it. And actually, I encourage that because, I don't look at myself as that old, but, I have to remind myself that I am a little bit removed from this generation, 18 to 22-year-olds. So what it's interesting to me, or what, I think, if I was a student now, what would be cool to me might not necessarily be cool or popular with this generation. So, we do encourage feedback. And then we also send out surveys. I actually sent out a survey a few weeks ago, just kind of asking, like, what kind of events do you like that we do? What would you like to see offered that we don't currently offer? Like, what kind of feedback, or are there any suggestions or anything that you had? Like, just simple questions like that. But that just gives us an idea of some of the stuff that our students are interested in. And it's just kind of ironic that some of the stuff that I saw in that survey is some stuff that Kelsey and I had already discussed and had in the works. For example, like a cornhole tournament, ping pong tournament, different things like that. Outdoor movie night stuff that people said. So we do listen. We do pay attention. I'm not just asking for feedback. I'm not just going to fill out a form just for the sake of doing it. I actually go through, look at the answers. I discuss the answers with my colleagues and see, if any of those things are realistic and we think that we can facilitate.
And see, I think that's what students want to hear, is that, their opinions do matter, and what they want is important to you guys, and really wanting them to feel like they belong here at Chowan. And so, really taking into account their opinions on things, and their feedback is an awesome way, again, that Chowan shows that the students are, number one priority. So that's amazing there. And I know that the students are very grateful for you, and giving them some kind of normalcy in our world today. It kind of lets them know it's okay to be just a student, just a college student. Don't have to worry about everything that's going on around them at the moment. They can, let loose, have some fun. And you said it best. Anytime you can give a student a chance to win some money, that's what brings them out. And, Chowan has a thing about giving away free money. I mean, admissions, we're giving away free money. Scholarship Day, we're giving away free money. So definitely want to encourage all of our prospect students to take advantage of that, and really sign up for us and give us a go. I mean, we're here, we're serving our students and to the best of our ability. And so far, it looks like it's paying off because our students seem happy. And so that's an amazing thing that Chowan has going for them. Now, Brad, where is your favorite spot on campus?
That's tough. So outside of I have a lot of spaces on campus, but if I have to narrow it down, I would say the chapel is very nice. The Jenkins Center, I used to work in the Jenkins Center, so I had a lot of experience there, even though I don't currently. But I would say I actually kind of like walking down the middle of campus, down the middle of Squirrel Park. My wife and I and our 2-month-old son, when the weather is nice, we like to put him in the stroller and walk from our house, which is like 3 minutes from campus. So, I would say just walking down the promenade and just kind of, just looking at campus, especially with the, in the fall with the leaves and everything changing colors. It's a beautiful sight. Now, I don't know how much longer we'll be able to do that with the temperature starting to drop a little bit, but I would have to say probably just walking down the middle of Squirrel Park.
Yes. So quick weather update. I think it's supposed to be a high of 45 tomorrow. So you guys make sure you bundle up, especially if you're walking to work or especially if you have to walk outside anywhere. So definitely that's going to be cold. And so I'm going to say where my favorite spot on campus, and my favorite spot is Squirrel Park. And the reason I say that is because when I was a student here, that was the place where you just saw all of the students gather, whether it was them, out there studying on a blanket, whether it's out there, just kind of people watching. I mean, people do that. But, it was a lot of activities out there, whether it was a flag football game pickups, kickball, anything in general. It showed student life. It showed that the campus was alive and thriving. I think that's one thing that we're kind of missing, which is still being used because I've still seen a lot of people out there when the weather, was nice, where they could get out and get fresh air. And it's perfect for picnics because my daughter came over here. She'll be 2 next month. And we actually had a picnic out in Squirrel Park. So that was very nice. But I just remember, that's where Relay for Life is held. That's where my graduation was held here at Chowan. I mean, so that holds a lot of memories for me. And it just shows, what Chowan has to offer and all the types of students that Chowan serves. So that would probably be my favorite spot. So I know that we're kind of winding down on our time together, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each of you if you could give one piece of advice to any incoming students or current students about Chowan, what would it be?
I would say to take advantage of all the opportunities. You may not have ever been in this particular club, or you may not have traveled, or you may not have explored an interest or a talent before, but this is a clean slate for you. Take advantage of all the opportunities.
I would probably piggyback off Mary a little bit. And say get involved. I always tell people that's the Chowan experience. I mean, obviously, you're coming to Chowan, you're coming to college to get an education, but what else are you going to do? You're in class roughly 15, 18 hours a week. What are you doing the umpteen other hours that you're not in class? So I tell students whenever you get into the real world, or employers are looking at your resume, or grad schools are looking at your resume, it's great if you have a 4.0, but if you have a 3.7, 3.8, but you're the president of this club or the secretary of this club, or you're involved in this organization, that stuff carries weight. So I tell get involved. It's going to benefit you not only while you're here, but then also down the road.
I think you all are going to see that you're talking to student life here. So I was going to say the same thing. Chowan is going to be what you make it. A lot of times I have students that come to me, I don't like it, I hate it here, we're in Murfreesboro. I'm like, it's what you make it. If I came to school and all I did was go from my room to my class to the caf, I would be miserable as well. So you have opportunities to explore. You have opportunities to join clubs. I always say join the club that's a part of your major. If you get out there and you do things and you explore, you're going to have a much better time unless you just go in your room and you're by yourself all the time. I can see where it can be a bad experience. So always, always, always try to get involved.
Like Yolanda said, you're talking to student life, so one more for team get involved. But I also would say, kind of piggybacking off of what Brad said in his segment, tell us what you want. If you aren't seeing something that you really want to get involved with on campus, there's no silly idea or stupid question. So ask us a question about how what you want to see. Tell us what you want to see on campus, because we will do anything we can for our students anything that we possibly can within reason for our students here on campus to get involved. But I know that we take pride in that. So give feedback and get involved in as many things as possible.
We don't read minds very well, so ask questions, tell us suggestions, give us your opinion, and share your story. That's what we want to be a part of.
And there's no such thing as a stupid question, so ask. I mean, we won't know unless you ask, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to give you answers, and if we can't give you an answer, we're going to find an answer for you. And that's the best thing about our staff here at Chowan is we're 100% here to serve you as students, as incoming students. So definitely get involved. Definitely go visit all these guys. I mean, they're awesome, are they not? Let's give a round of applause to my entire staff here that's joined me. So thank you guys so much for everything that you have done and that you continue to do for not only our staff, but also our students as well. We highly appreciate your willingness to serve and to basically just give your time to those students and really make them feel, you know, like family. I know we had a lot of students come through here and they're like, you know, this is my family. This will always be my family. And so it's you guys that make that happen. And we truly appreciate you and the work that you guys do. So continue to be awesome and continue to, you know, just love Chowan and love our students. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up because I know it's 5 o'clock now and we're probably ready to get out of here, ready to kind of decompress so we can start all over again tomorrow. So with that said, please join us, you guys, for our next live session. I know that we have our CU preview Friday coming up on December 3rd, so be on the lookout for that as well. And if you need any of these people that you see on our live session right now, you can definitely get in contact with them and they can help you out any way you can. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and until next time, we will see you guys later.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank
Go
you.
Hawks.
Thanks, Anna.
Amen.
Go Hawks.